one that this bill was supposedly supposed to help.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the worst. That's the irony and the funny part.
And these justices, I mean, they totally took our voice away. I mean, we were all set to be able to, you know, have our say on this. This is, you know, exactly what our country should be about. Citizen, like kind of like your website, citizen to citizen. Like that's how the Healthcare Freedom Act would have passed, is grassroots, on the ground, knocking on doors, you know, badgering your friends, whatever. And they totally took that away from us.
Well, and that's how it passed through the legislature to begin with. It was a very close vote, and if you talk to the guys Plaken and Baker, who, you know, were the co-sponsors of this thing, the only reason it happened is because the only reason it even made it as far as it did is because the Tea Party movement got on the phones, started talking to these committee chairs and everybody, and said, "Hey, you better get this passed, or there's going to be consequences."
Yeah, it was really, really organized, too, because there was, I mean, at points when they offered an amendment to the bill that would have pretty much neutered the bill towards the end. The chairman of the Rules Committee got, you know, his phone line shut down and, you know, bombarded with emails. And, you know, you got to imagine the chairman of the Rules Committee in Tallahassee. They don't get a whole lot of phone calls and emails about bills. So they were, I think, overwhelmed at the response on this bill.
Oh, absolutely, and that's just what makes the decision by the court so much more insidious, is that you know, the idea that we're somehow being protected from, you know, being fooled by some plan of the Republican establishment, when it was us who got this through. You know, it's just kind of I don't know, it's insulting.
We didn't understand what we were lobbying for. We're too dumb. We didn't get it, and obviously, you know, we can't read a ballot summary and be able to figure out what something does.
Yeah.
Hey, Jesse, can you hold on the line for just a minute?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Jesse Phillips is going to hold on. We'll talk more about Supreme Court Justices Perry and Labarga and remind everybody about that whole situation, and plenty more to come. 407-774-8255 if you want to be part of the program. 407-774-8255. Stick around.
I was waiting on.
It's not just somebody else's problem. Hunger's a reality of everyday life for 1 in every 10 American households. 1 in 10. Hungry kids have up to 4 times as many health problems. We pay for that. We can take steps to fix it. For just $5, Americans Feeding Americans can feed a family of 4 for a week. $5. Call now. 1-888-58-CHILD or 1-888-582-4453. Don't let one child go to bed hungry one more night. It's not just somebody else's problem.
Carolina Mountain Spring water is now available for home and office delivery throughout Central Florida. The water comes from a protected source located in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Cache, North Carolina. The water flows naturally to the surface, captured in an elaborate network of piping and equipment sealed deeply within the bedrock. The spring emerges from high elevation mountains comprised mainly of gneiss granite. From the time it rains on the mountain, it takes several weeks to naturally filter through the granite and emerge as pristine spring water. The water is so pure that it has less than 20 ppm total dissolved solids and is totally free of contaminants. The water comes in 5-gallon, 3-gallon, 1-gallon, and 1/2 liter bottles. They also have water coolers for sale or rental. Your family deserves the best. Call today for a free brochure and water analysis. Start your home or office delivery today and let them prove to you why they feel their water and service is the best. Call Ann at Carolina Mountain Spring Water, 407-851-7144.
How are the Democrats positioning themselves coming into the midterm election? Hugh Hewitt explains.
This just tell you where the left is in this country right now. If they're not corrupt like Charles Rangel and Maxine Waters, and they're not insane like Alan Grayson in Florida, or they're not just melting down in anger like Anthony Weiner, if they aren't as clueless as Nancy Pelosi, they are extreme.
The Hugh Hewitt Show.
Sometimes they're everything.
Weeknights from 7 to 10. on News Talk 660 WORL.
Free enterprise and rock and roll.
It's the Tea Party, baby!
Tea Party Patriots. Party Patriots. Party Patriots. Party Patriots. Party Patriots. Party Patriots.
All right, we're talking with Jesse Phillips from citizen-to-citizen.us. Go on there, get on the mailing list. Jesse, are there talking points and stuff on the website for people to put if they're putting together an email to send out? Is there some talking points for them?
Yeah, citizen-to-citizen.us. I think you mentioned that. There's definitely talking points. If you go to the website, and by the way, it's citizen and then the number 2, citizen. It's the number 2, not the word 2. But if you go on there, you can click on a link to our toolkit, and that toolkit has some neighborhood flyers. In fact, I handed about a couple hundred in my neighborhood this morning that you can print off and distribute. There's a talking points document and just a number of other sample wording for tweets, Facebook and Twitter, and emails. So it's all there for you. Just copy and paste, send out, blast it out, and it's all ready made. And like I was saying, I think we need to. We're kind of coming down the back nine here, and with such a good informed base of people in the Tea Party, if we can double or triple in size just by each of us taking that personal responsibility to convince 2 or 3 of our friends and sell them on the idea. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's an easy sell.
Right, for the most part, people really don't care about the judges. I mean, it's not like Congress or State House where they might have a favorite already.
Well, whether you're a liberal, Democrat, or a conservative, or a communist, I don't really care what your political leanings are.
Even if you're Barack Obama.
Yeah,
I said it. I totally went there.
This is not about whether or not you agree with Obamacare. This is not about whether or not you like Obamacare or you don't like Obamacare. This is about whether or not you think 2 judges have the right to tell you as a voter you don't have the right to vote
you don't have a
and
say
decide on this issue. We have the right to take that right away from you. So even if you love Obamacare, you still should have got to cast a vote saying that you support Obamacare rather than the other way around.
I know you're going to be out at the rally next Saturday at City Hall. There's a bunch of Tea Party groups getting involved in this. South Florida Tea Party, I can't even remember all of them. The Kissimmee 912, Tampa, Gainesville,
Orlando Tea Party.
They're all on board. And can you bring some of those flyers with you for people to pass out in their neighborhood and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're going to have some information about these 2 guys anyway, but I want to have something that people can take away and go hand out in their neighborhood, like you were saying.
And for the truly lazy, you guys have a Facebook campaign too, if you want to look that up, so they don't even have to type anything. They can just click share and pass it around to everybody that they know.
Yeah. If you can exert enough effort to lift your finger and click a mouse button, it'll be all across the internet. So
right.
It really is a functional website that's doing a lot of great things. It's a really powerful ad up there that was just put up the other day. And obviously we don't have money, so it's just going to be a viral internet ad. But I'd be happy to bring some flyers, and I'm happy to hear that you agree that this word is getting around. And I did get an email from the South Florida group, was one of those groups that did notify their members. I got a copy of that and encouraging them already to vote no on these guys. And I just encourage people to make this, just add this to what you're already doing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff already being done in terms of walking through neighborhoods, and most of what we're doing is just adding our flyer into other groups that are out walking and putting it in with their stuff. And so there's different ways to do it, but we've got to affect about a 15 to 20 point swing. And I think we've seen in the Tea Party already crazier things than that have happened, even this election cycle. So I'm feeling good about it.
I got an email just this morning from a lady that said that she was forwarded an email that I had sent out on these 2 justices. So, I mean, it's that original email that I sent out is still making its way around and stuff. And like I said, it seemed like everybody already knew about it on Sunday at the Omni. I mean, like.
Well, I know here that they do, but I've talked to people, like I said, I talk to people online all the time, and I've talked to people in North Florida, like in Jacksonville and St. Augustine, they have no idea what I'm talking about. So there are places that, like, the message, I don't think is getting...
There's a big Tea Party group up in Jacksonville. Have you been in touch with them, Jesse?
I think so. I think we've hit each of the major, at least the major regions in the state.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, that is a good point. You can't assume just because one person knows that doesn't mean their neighbor does.
Right, and that's why we need kind of this grassroots lobbying effort, and we need everyone out there just
door hangers and flyers to give out, and
especially because this is truly, again, just like the Tea Party movement, it's very grassroots. This isn't, an organized effort with money, backed by some union thugs or whatever. It's just,
regular people.
Yeah, Jesse, you had been one of the most vocal advocates for the Healthcare Freedom Act, and then obviously when the court decision didn't go our way, you turned and focused that disappointment into a constructive channel, and no special interest money coming in, no big unions backing you, nothing, right?
No television ads.
That is the first question that virtually everybody who calls me, I got a call from an AP guy, and he had 5 questions for me, and all of them had to do with money. And it was all I could do to convince him. No, some things really can happen without money.
Yeah, and this is
believe it or not.
Yeah,
this is a good example. And
it's a great example. I mean, it's an opportunity to make history and do something historic, without a dime spent. I mean, it would truly be an amazing accomplishment and a true testament of the difference that guys like you make, and on your show, keeping this word in front of people. I think we've got a great chance here.
It'll be a nice test of how strong the Tea Party movement is too. I think I think whatever the swing is, 10 or 15 or 20 points, changing the way it breaks down. I think we could attest a lot of that to the Tea Party.
Even if they win, even if they don't lose their retention,
right?
But
we'll still know what that swing was.
We smack them one good time, they may listen next time.
Yeah, do you think, is that part of the logic there, Jesse? That maybe next time around they're like, I don't want to anger these people.
Well, we're not in it to come close or lose. I mean, we're in it to win it. But the reality is the other 3 who voted against us are up on the ballot next time.
Is that 2012?
In 2012, yeah, the other 3 out of the 5. So
that'll be really easy because that's just no on all 3 of them, right? They'll be the only 3 on the ballot. There will be no one to vote yes on.
Right, exactly, and
that makes it really easy.
Straight down, all 3. No.
And if we can basically, get these guys, even if you do come close, if we can, we've been running this campaign about a month with no money, so that should, with a little bit of thought and maybe some more coordination, work in a couple years. I'm hoping the thought will be in the back of the minds of those 3 justices that, okay, well, our decisions do have consequences.
And you know what? In 2 years from now, I mean, look at what you've been able to do without real funding or anything. I mean, I think there's probably some groups out there that you could go raise some funds to do like a media campaign if you wanted to next time around.
Yeah.
And I think that would make it, I mean, you might as well form it into a 527 or 501c or something and start raising some funds so you can, I mean, that would be just like the No on 4 thing. I think the No on 4 thing's been super effective, the advertising campaign.
Well, yeah, but there's still a lot of misinformation about 4 that's out there. So that's one thing that we're going to have to tackle is you're really, 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 really going to have to be on the tube educating people because you don't see a lot of stuff on TV. And people
a little bit though, right, Jesse? The No on 4 people are running those few TV ads.
I haven't been following them as closely, but yeah, I have seen the TV ads for sure, and they have a good ground game with the signs and everything as well.
Yeah, so I mean, imagine a no on the justices campaign, and
Well, I mean, not too late for that to happen this time.